I slept good. I got my kids here with me this week and my wife. I said, get to bed by 10, make sure you're at your truck by 5:30, have a clean head and be ready to go. You don't know what you're going to be faced with today.
It was a family affair all around for former Cup champion Bobby Lane. For the first time in Major League Fishing, siblings would be squaring off together.
It's fantastic to be here at the Summit Cup. I'm excited about it, my first Cup event ever. More than likely, I'll be fishing against my brother. I just have that kind of gut feeling. I have never heard him so excited about making the trip to Minnesota to fish the Cup event. I've seen him excited before, but he probably called me 10 times telling me how excited he was.
Pretty light in the morning, but it gets intense when you get there. You pull up to the ramp, you know, you get your rods out of the locker, you get them set up.
All right, here we are on Wabana Lake.
Wabana Lake.
Wabana Lake, okay. We'll be launching and returning for rendezvous right here.
All right.
Randy White handed me a map. I asked him if I could go down and look at the water. He said, no problem. I walked out on the dock. I just want to see what the water clarity was.
You know, here, unfortunately, I've got smallmouth and largemouth rods, so I don't know exactly what to put out first.
Hopefully there's largemouth in here, so.
But you'll start with looking for largemouth.
I have to start. I mean,
that's your nature.
I'm from Lakeland, Florida. I have to start on largemouth.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Can you say clear?
When we launched the boat, I'm like, oh my gosh, the water was so clear. I mean, it was crystal, it was beautiful, and I thought we were just gonna mash them today.
Don't be eyeballing me.
Shut up and do your thing.
You shut up. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Chris was close by, and I couldn't help but smack talk with him. I have to say, Chris has been very angry. He's so angry.
Don't you look over here.
He's an angry elf. I couldn't help but poke at him because he's been so mad. I don't know. He's got some issues.
Freaking California kid, whatever he is. MLF is as good as it gets, guys, and my runaround begins now. It's a little chilly up here, so yeah, I'm shaking, but I'm excited about our day. Let's go.
The morning ride-through provided an opportunity for the anglers to survey the water for the first time.
What a beautiful body of water. Tons of cover. Got to be a lot of fish live here.
It was only a 2,000-acre lake, so it's not real big. And I covered probably about 2/3 of it and saw an area I really liked and I thought would be a good area to start in. The reason we're going to start right here, it's got a lot of diversity. It's got some boat docks, lily pads, and I was throwing a new bait that Strike King's got out called the Super Toad, and I think that's what the first fish come on, or maybe the first couple of fish.
That's a scorable bass.
And then I started to throw their splash popper, the KVD splash, and started to get bit on it a little bit better than actually the toad, so I stuck with it and really got off to a pretty good roll. He came up and sucked it down so lightly that I thought I had a weed. The key was the little pad points and working it real slow, letting it sit. And a lot of the bites were very subtle. You really had to be prepared because not many of them were big explosions. That may have been the lightest topwater bite I've had in my life, folks. That's not a good sign when they're hitting it that soft. They really don't want it real bad.
This season, for the first time, MLF has 2 new full-time anglers in the field. Having qualified by points through the Select Series, one of those anglers, Andy Montgomery, is looking for a quick start to his morning.
You know, when I do my ride through, I just start driving.
and just trying to take mental notes of where things are, where's some docks, where's some bungee whips, where's some lily pads. I just rode it and tried to look at as much as I could, and then pick a good starting spot.
Lines in.
Here we go. So I got top water on the start. I started to start on a little point that came way out and had some bungee whips on it. And, you know, I just really like to cover a lot of water. Top water is an easy way to do that. Early, I got on a pretty good run in the first period. You know, I caught a few on top water this morning to kind of get my day going. You know, the sun came out and some fish started getting around some boat docks, and I was able to go down one stretch that had some fish on it and make a good little run. Yes. Once you do that, then you just kind of run with that and try to see if there's something to it, you know, if it's a really good pattern, which today it turned out to be pretty good.
Lines in. This is the start of the first period.
I started around a shoal with a couple of big reed points that came out, and I actually rode over one, saw the water was clear, but on the sides it dropped off, and on each side of the shoals it had some scattered grass. So I said, well, let's start here and see what happens. It wasn't 5 casts into it, and I catch a keeper largemouth. Largemouth. 2 casts later, I lose about a 4-pound smallmouth, and that's a better fish. Oh my God, dadgummit. Then I'm like, wow. This was all on a spinnerbait. And then I caught a 2.7, and I'm like, wow, that 2.7, it brought me right back up into 2nd or 3rd place. And I said, before I leave, I'm gonna make sure that I throw a drop shot up there, and no kidding, I fired out there, first cast, smallmouth. Well, drop shot seemed to work okay. Next cast, largemouth. Next cast, smallmouth. First round went absolutely perfect, but I told myself, I don't care what happens today, you better keep catching fish, because the score tracker was just lighting them up. Everybody was catching a lot of fish.
Bobby Lane sat safely inside the cut line. But another former champion, Brent Ayler, took longer to find a pattern.
I started out fishing deep. I really felt like that's where the fish were going to be caught. I really felt like it was going to be a smallmouth bite.
Some deep grass. It looks very smallmouthy to me.
My first keeper is largemouth. It's out deep. And I really thought that was weird that I caught a largemouth out deep.
That's a little strange right there.
And shortly after that, I catch several small largemouth. And I go, man, this is a largemouth lake. No smallmouth live here. I go up and I start fishing shallow, and I catch a 3-pound largemouth shallow.
That's a real nice one, actually.
So late in the first period, I pull into an area, and it was on a laydown out in a little bit deeper water. I get close to this dock. It has a little bit of depth on it. It has a lot of old wood pilings on it. Looked fishy. There's about 2 minutes left. I look at this dock, and I made the comment.
I mean, if I don't catch one right here, I've lost all faith in bass fishing. Oh gosh, it's a big one.
And it jumps, and it's a giant fish. I fight the fish, I get it in, it's a 4-pound fish, largemouth.
I have not lost faith in all of bass fishing.
That told me I really need to be fishing hard targets, whether it was wood, rock, something shallow. I don't need to be out deep fishing for smallmouth. This is the way to do well here, is to fish shallow for largemouth.